Hello everybody. Welcome to today's second lesson of 11th grade here in Aprendo en Casa. I hope you're having a great Friday. I am teacher Jonathan Elizondo, and together we're going to continue learning about the English language. So before we begin, what are the materials that we're going to need for today's class? We're going to need a sharpener because probably you want to use also a pencil. If you don't have a pencil, you can use a pen. It can be black or blue ink. We will need an eraser in case we need to correct any mistake that we make, and of course, a notebook, hopefully the English notebook. If not, you can use some paper. All right? Are you ready? I think there's something missing yet. You need to invite your family and friends to join us. Also look for the perfect spot, a place that is quiet, in which you can actually focus and you can pay attention to our class. And a place where you can have all your materials. It can be a table, it can be the floor, it can be the sofa even. Now, are you ready? Yes? All right. So, in the first lesson with teacher Laura, you explored listening, right? Do you remember the topic? Yes, it was STEAM careers. You also had a listening with teacher David Valerio about STEAM. And I have a question. What does STEAM stand for? Stand for is an expression we use when we have an acronym like STEAM, and each of the letters represents something different. Do you remember what is the meaning of STEAM? In case you don't remember or you missed that part, I have the meaning for you here. So STEAM actually means the S is for science, then we have the T for technology, E for engineering, A for the arts, and M for mathematics. All right? So we're going to be talking about those careers that are in that area of the STEAM. Okay? As teacher Laura explained, you already know all the concept and everything that is over there. In this class, we're going to focus on speaking, not only in listening. Now, since you are in 11th grade, I have some questions for you. Let's look at the questions. Number one, have you ever thought about the major you want to pursue or enroll in? Maybe it is a major on engineering. Maybe you're thinking about being a doctor, or do you want to be an architect? The second question, is that major part of STEAM? Very interesting, right? If I'm thinking about being a teacher, is that part of STEAM? Or if I'm thinking about being a microbiologist? And finally, what do you think about the STEAM careers? I personally think that STEAM careers are very important in today's world. They might be a little complicated and people might complain a little bit about them, but don't worry, nothing to be scared of. Now, before we answer all of these questions and we learn the speaking part today, what is it that we're going to be doing? Let's look at our objectives for this class. So today, we're going to give information about the pros and cons of STEAM in today's world. And also, we're going to be able to state opinions about the pros and cons of STEAM in today's world. Okay? So we're about to start. Are you sure you already invited your friends, your family, that you have everything you need? All right, here we go. Let's imagine that we are at an admissions interview at a university. You're sitting in front of the admissions officer, and he's having a conversation with you about different careers. In this case, STEAM careers. Now, the officer is asking you about the pros and cons of STEAM and your opinion about those careers. Do you think you're able to give an answer to that? If your answer at this point is not, hopefully by the end of the class, you will be able to do that. Okay? So before we give our opinion to the admissions officer, let's learn some ways in which we can actually give opinions by watching a short video I took from the British Council. As you listen, I want you to take notes about the different phrases, and I want you to complete this chart, this table that I have here for you today. Let's look at the table. So This is a table that contains three different columns, and you see column number 1, expressing opinions, column number 2, agreeing, and column number 3, disagreeing. I want you to listen to the video and extract those expressions. And you see that at the bottom of the table, there is a space kind of in between agreeing and disagreeing. You're going to see one phrase you can actually use when you are in between. You agree somehow, but you disagree at the same time. So are you ready to take notes? All right, let's watch the video from the British Council.
Hi. In a speaking exam, you may be asked to share an opinion or have a discussion with a partner about a topic. In this video, we'll have a look at how to express your opinions and how you can agree or disagree with someone else's point of view. Let's have a look at some phrases you can use to express your opinions. Some good phrases to use for expressing your opinion are I think, I believe, I like, and in my opinion. For example, if you were talking to your friend about movies, you might say, I think action movies are the best. You can also express yourself with the negative forms of these phrases. I don't like horror movies, or I don't believe the world needs any more Transformers films, are good examples of sentences to express opinion. Do you want to make your statement stronger? You can use adverbs and adjectives to do this. Instead of I believe or in my opinion, you can use I strongly believe or in my honest opinion. Adverbs and adjectives are useful for showing you're serious about a topic. As well as expressing your opinion, it is a good conversation skill to ask about other people's opinions. Phrases like, what do you think about? And how do you feel about? Are good questions to keep a conversation going. You might ask someone, what's your opinion on climate change? Or use a question after you make a statement. I think the blue jacket is the nicest. What do you think? Knowing how to agree and disagree with someone else's opinion is just as valuable as being able to express your own opinion. You can use short statements to show you feel the same as the speaker. For example, if a friend says, I think football is more fun than tennis, you could respond with, I agree, or that's right, or me too. You can disagree with a statement in a similar way. You could say, that's not right, I don't think that's very good, or simply, I disagree. If you have mixed feelings on an issue, you can use a more neutral phrase. For example, I'm not sure about that, or I partly agree with you.
All right. Were you able to extract all the phrases that the person in the video said? I'm pretty sure you're probably still taking notes. Go ahead, try to fill out the whole chart. Very important. I encourage you to get at least one phrase for each of the different sections. Do you want to see the answers? You ready with your chart? Okay, let's see the answers for our chart. We have here expressing opinions. We have expressions like I think, I believe, I like, or in my opinion. When we agree, we can say I agree, that's right, or me too. When we disagree, we can say that's not right, I don't think that's very good, I'm not sure about that. Now I want you to be careful about the first two statements here. That's not right and I don't think that's very good might not be appropriate for formal scenarios. Why? Because remember, when we give our opinion and when we disagree with somebody, it's very important to be assertive. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And then I partly agree with you. It's very important when you are in between. You are somehow agreeing but also disagreeing with the person, okay? Now, when we express opinions, we need to consider the strength of our claims, the strength of our opinion, and choose the best expression. Let's see this infographic. So there you see that we have two different columns, one for personal point of view, one for general point of view. Look at the one of the personal point of view. It begins in the lower part as subjective and it goes higher and higher till a strong point of view. So if you are not really sure that you or that your opinion is very strong, you can say something like, to my mind, in my experience, as far as I am concerned, as far as I understand. So let's say that you are not sure about the meaning of STEAM. You can say, well, as far as I understand, STEAM means science, technology, engineering. I'm not sure about the A. You see, that is not very strong. Then neutral. You can say, in my opinion, as far as I am concerned, I suppose that, it seems to me that. And if it is a strong opinion, you can say, I bet that. You can also say, I dare say that. I'm sure that. I have no doubt that. And I strongly believe that. This last expression is very common, as we're going to see later today. When we give an opinion that is very strong, people usually say, I strongly believe that. Now, how do you report what other people say, or a general point of view that it's not your own opinion? We can say, some people say that, many or most people think or believe that, it is often said that, it is generally accepted that, everybody knows that, according to scientists. So this one means you have read something, you have some information that you read in a paper or in a research, and you're reporting. It is thought that, some people say that, it is considered, it is generally accepted that, the research seems to suggest, apparently, or I have heard that. Okay? So I want to invite you right now. Remember, you are still thinking about what you're going to tell the person at the admissions office. So think of one of the sentences that you want to use to express your opinion, and think of one or two sentences you want to report the pros and the cons. That is part of what we do when we're planning on what we're going to answer. Now, we haven't explored the pros and cons yet. Let's see this chart over here, this infographic that I have for the pros and the cons of STEAM careers. Now, let me tell you that I took this one from an online website, and these are the ideas by Rebecca Poirier. So you see that the cons are the negative parts, and the pros are the positive aspects. If we look at the cons, we can say that one of the cons is that it takes a great deal of time in planning and implementation. You buy in from all the staff members may be difficult. Their subject is more important than ours. This is something that might happen at schools, at universities. Some people might say, you know, my career or my subject that is related to math, to technology is more important than that other one that is related to arts. Then it's very difficult to change the school culture, and it can cause dissent and anger among the staff. So if I am to report one of those cons, I can use one of the phrases that we saw earlier, that, for example, apparently STEAM can exclude students who are below grade level in certain subject areas. Now, if I want to give my opinion about that, I can say, I am sure that that is not always true. Every student is as capable of achieving as everyone else. Now, let's look at the parts of the pros. We see that interdisciplinary learning, similar to the real-world skills, are needed. Students become creative, collaborative, and problem solvers. The next pro is that students become more adaptable in their learning and acceptance of change and difficulty. Students realize that all the disciplines are interconnected and are able to capitalize on those connections. According to studies, student performance increases with interdisciplinary learning. Those are the pros. Again, if I want to report on the pros, I can say, it is often said that students become creative, collaborative, and problem solvers, right? And I suppose that that is a good thing. That is my opinion about it. Now, once we have this, I want you to take a look at this chart, at this infographic, and think of one of the things you want to say to that admissions officer. Take a look at that. Maybe you can write down in your notebook the ideas that you want to convey. It's not necessary to always talk about the pros or the cons. You can choose one of the sides, right? So no problem about that. You ready? Yes? Okay. So remember that it's very important that we think about the question they are asking, and then we think about the information we have and how strong our opinion is to the topic. All right? So I'm going to give you some more time to think about that. Process it and try to come up with an answer for that admissions officer. Now, imagine I am the admissions officer and I'm going to ask you the direct question. The question is, what are some pros and cons of STEAM careers, and what do you think about that? Let me repeat the question. What are some of the pros and cons of STEAM careers, and what do you think about that? You already have the information. You already have the phrases. You can come up with an answer now. Yes? Okay. So, you know, I did this as an experiment. And I went and I asked 2 teachers at the Ministry of Public Education, 2 English teachers, the same question. And this is one of the answers. Before we listen to the answer, I want you to think and maybe write down some notes. How does this person present the pros and the cons? And how does this person give an opinion? What are the ideas this person has? All right? Are you ready? Okay. Let's listen to Alfredo Ortega Cordero. He is the English advisor, National English Advisor at the Ministry of Public Education for high school. Let's see what teacher Alfredo said.
Hello, dear students at home. Hello, dear teacher Jonathan. Thank you so very much for inviting me to your beautiful and very important lesson on STEAM careers. And this is actually a very important topic today. And in regards to your question about the pros of STEAM careers today, let me tell you first that here at the Ministry of Public Education, we do strongly believe in the fact that through the exploration of science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math, our students can develop different and very important skills. And one of them is higher problem-solving skills, higher critical thinking skills. And on the other hand, through the exploration of different fields of study and different learnings, our students can develop and put into practice their own creativity. These are just a couple of the pros of exploring STEAM careers. Why not taking the chance to explore STEAM careers and making the right election? We're talking about senior students. We're talking about 11th graders. Let me invite you, boys and girls, to explore STEAM careers. You are the future citizens. You are the future of our country, the future of the world. Let's become part of this new citizenship. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, teacher Alfredo, for your contribution to today's class. It was very nice. Now my question is, did you notice how he talked about the pros and the cons and the opinions? He used one expression we haven't studied yet. He said, and this is actually. That is to give the opinion. He talked about STEAM careers, and then he said, and this is actually what happens at the Ministry of Public Education. So he is giving the opinion and giving more information. Now, what expression did he use to provide his opinion? Think about that. All right? Yes, you are right. He used, we strongly believe that. He said, at the Ministry of Public Education, we strongly believe that. You see, that is a very common expression to give an opinion when it is very strong opinion. All right? Now, he talked about the pros or about the cons. What do you think? What did he talk about? Think about that. Yes, he talked about the pros, actually. He didn't focus on the cons. He talked about problem solving and critical thinking skills as 2 of the pros. We're going to do the same exercise again. We're going to listen to a different teacher, and this time I want you to, again, pay attention. Is she talking about the pros, the cons, or both? How does she introduce those pros and cons? And how does she give the opinion? So this time I have teacher Cristín Gamboa Cordero from CTP Abelardo Bonilla in Paracito, Moravia. So let's hear teacher Cristín.
Everybody knows that studying a STEAM career requires a lot of effort and long hours of preparation and implementation of your projects, but it gives you the chance to develop your creativity, your critical thinking, and your soft skills. I strongly believe that this effort will give you the chance to get a great job in the future.
Thank you, Teacher Christine. That was a great idea as well, great opinion. So, students, what did you notice? Did she talk about the pros and the cons or both? Well, let me tell you that actually she talked about both. She said, everybody knows, and she started talking about a little bit about the cons. She said that it requires effort, that it requires time, that people sometimes think it is a little difficult. But she also talked about the pros. How did she make the transition? She said, but. So we can use the expression but or the word but when we want to contrast. I'm talking about something negative, but there is also something positive. And she actually talked about creative, critical thinking, and soft skills. Actually, soft skills are very important in today's world, right? What expression did she use to talk about her opinion? Did you notice that? She used the same expression Teacher Alfredo used. That was mere casualty because they recorded it separately and I didn't ask them what to say. But she said, I strongly believe that. You see, that is a very common expression in the English language. Now, since we have a little bit time left, we're going to review those expressions we use to talk about our opinions. So let's see the infographic about the opinions one more time, okay? I want you to look at those opinions, that infographic of the opinions. So we're going to go back on the slides and look at that. Very good. Express opinions in English, all right? Remember, very important when we want to express opinions. I am not going to repeat all the phrases, but one of the things you need to think about is, are you thinking about general point of view or personal point of view? If it is a general point of view, it's something that people out there say. If it is your personal point of view, you can use the expressions you have to your left. All right? And then from those personal point of view expressions, we can go from the lower, that is the one that doesn't show that strong of an opinion, to the one that is very, very strong on top. All right? So I have a challenge for you. Maybe you haven't been able to complete the whole task today. I know classes are very fast, right? But my challenge for you is think about the pros and cons we studied in today's class and think about how to give your opinion. Once you have that, go ahead and prepare a short presentation like the one Teacher Alfredo or Teacher Christine gave us today. And you can put that into practice. How can you do it? I have some tricks for you. Number one, if you have a cell phone, you can actually use your cell phone, record yourself on a video or an audio, and send it to your teacher. They can actually check and give you feedback. If you don't have a cell phone or you don't have internet connection, you only have the cell phone, you can actually look at your cell phone and then listen to yourself. The second trick, you can ask somebody to listen to you. Someone that knows English, or maybe they don't know English. I remember when I was learning the language, I used to talk to my mother. She doesn't know English, but she will listen to me and give me feedback on my expressions or on my body language. Or the last tip that I want to give you is you can go in front of the mirror and you can give your speech there, your short presentation, your short answer, and you can actually notice how you're doing that, okay? Now, I think it's time that we start reviewing what we have done today in class. So let's see our self-assessment for the day. And in this case, we're going to just do the self-assessment first. So we don't have questions for that one. We're going to use the thumbs. We can use thumbs up, thumbs to the middle, and thumbs down. Okay? I'm going to give you the statements. So, number one, did you pay attention carefully? Yes? Kind of? Or no? Think about it. Paying attention, remember, it's just being focused. All right? So I hope it's yes. You see the emoticon right there. Okay? So, the second question I have, did I finish the linguistic task for today? Yes. Great. Thumbs up. Excellent. Okay. The third question for today. During the class, did I use different supports to improve understanding? Now, what do we mean by using different supports? Remember that during the video that you watched at the beginning, you saw some words, right? On the different sides of the man, you saw some words. That is support that we can use to understand. When I was talking to you about giving opinions, you also looked at some written things. That is the support we can use. If you're looking at me right now, you can actually see my body language. So maybe you are not clear about something, but when you look at me, you say, oh, I'm going to use those gestures as support. So did you do that? Yes? Thumbs up? Excellent. Very, very good. All right. Now we're going to see actually the learning for today. Were we able to carry out these tasks correctly? So let's see the slide for the learning. Okay? You see that we have not achieved, in progress, or achieved. Remember that achieved is when you were successful. In progress, you are in the middle. And not achieved, you still need to work on that. I gave information about the pros and cons of STEAM in today's world. Yes or no? Or in the middle. I stated my opinion about pros and cons of STEAM in today's world. Yes, no, or kind of in the middle. Think about that. Hopefully you do yes. Okay? Very, very good. Now, I have 3 extra questions for you very quickly. Number 1, what was the part in which you had difficulty today? Okay? Think about that. Number 2, what is one thing you would like to put into practice? And number 3, what is your opinion in today's class? Remember, our opinion can be positive. Our opinion can be negative, can be in the middle. You can actually say yes or no. All right, we have come to the end. Thank you very much. My name is Teacher Jonathan Elizondo, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.